Hello, good afternoon, and welcome everyone to the pod series from the Colors of Indonesia Summer Home, which is streaming live right now on YouTube, Anakata Media, and Instagram Live at MOIE Living. My name is Siska Becker. I'm very excited to welcome you all. Thank you so much for joining us, both for you online audience and of course to all of you offline audience as well. Hello, selamat sore semua. Apa kabar? Terima kasih banyak sudah bergabung bersama kami hari ini. Bakal seru banget, akan ada sesi bincang-bincang seru inspiratif yang kita ketengahkan ya untuk kesempatan yang sangat istimewa ini. To all of our online audience, feel free to leave comments or questions throughout the show. So today, MOIE and MOIE House are presenting a very special talk with our very special guest, Michael Kruckenberg, Head of Asia from Vitra, and also Eko Priharseno from ID Design Bureau in the second part as well. So first of all, welcome to our guest. And of course, for the couple you see before us, needs no introduction. We also have Nick and Michelle Chang from MOIE House. Thank you, Siska. So first of all, maybe before we start our discussion, I will let each of you to say hi to our online audience and offline audience as well. Maybe starting with Michelle and Nick, so you can also explain a little bit about our little event, little gathering today. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining in. We're here today with Eko Priharseno from AD Design Bureau, and also Michael he's the head of Asia from Vitra, flying all the way from Basel. So happy to have you here, Michael.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and of course, Siska, thank you for hosting our event. So
always excited to be part of MOIE and MOIE House event. And of course, Mas Eko, also very happy to have you here to talk a little bit more about your design, about the inspiration you have for the colors of Indonesia as well. And from Michael, we understand this is actually your first ever visit in Jakarta. How has it been so far?
That's correct. I'm super excited to be here. It's day 2. Today, you took us to a lot of interesting places, your places, very excited to see that. We could see glimpses of the city. I think it's a very exciting city, so I'm looking forward to coming back a lot more.
well, we're glad to have you here today, and then throughout, even though time is short, but then I think we got through a lot of things, and then I hope it's been a fruitful trip for you.
Very much so. We packed in as much as possible for today.
Okay, hopefully next time you can spend more time, with everybody here and get to visit more spots, maybe some dining spots as well, and have fun in Jakarta. So for now, let's get into our discussion, our conversation. So Michael, everyone who comes here to the Colors of Indonesia mostly are design enthusiasts, of course, and they are very familiar with Vitra's iconic design. But we believe there's always so much more to discover about how the brand approaches design. So that is why we also bring in Mas Eko Priharseno, who designed a hobby room featuring Vitra icons like Laches, Pantone, and elephant miniatures, and cork stool, and the ball clock. Now maybe you can tell us a little bit more about how does Vitra approach creating furniture for personalized spaces, like for instance a hobby room, where functionality meets with creativity.
Now, that's a very good question. Let me start with where Vitra originally comes from. So we worked with some of the world's leading designers. So I was super happy to see that you have a Lachaise in that hobby room. It's a very unique piece. It's a very iconic piece. And it's a very unusual piece for this room. But it fits perfectly in because you sort of created this very individual, eclectic style in there. So a signature piece like this fits perfectly. We didn't design it, Eames designed it, but we're happy to do a bit of the engineering in the background to make sure it lasts and it can be used for a long time and it can be passed on and on. Why did you choose Lachaise?
Me?
We're going
That was my question for Mas Eko, but please go ahead.
We're going off script here.
No, it's okay. I love it.
Yeah, the reason why, because I saw this already in the showroom, but it's been our iconic. For me, it's very iconic. It's one of the boundary between the sitting and the artwork, because it looks like an artwork rather than sitting seated, so that's why we choose that, because it's sort of I can imagine if this piece was in the hobby room, so people can start talk by, it's like an icebreaker conversation because of this. And then this piece is, basically it's like giving the aura of the relax and some really, because it's a chase, you know, like, so it's an icon for relaxing. So that's why I chose this, because no other furniture can do that.
Okay, so the perfect piece, yeah?
Yes, yes,
To
yes.
deliver the mood that you want to give to that room. Yes,
I
Michael?
recognize I didn't answer your question. So, for example, when we take Tipton here,
Yeah.
Tipton is a design which, first of all, is functional, right? It's a chair, and hence the name basically tips forward when you
Tips
lean forward.
Yeah.
So it's got these 7 degrees tip forward. It's very functional. It takes weight off your lower spine. At the same time, it's like a very finely designed, almost like a piece of art. And you can use it in your hobby room. It's not in a hobby room, but we see that in offices. We see that in co-workings. We see that in children's rooms. So that's another angle of Vitra's design. We try to do furniture that is transversal, that can work in a lot of different environments, and that sort of brings forward the best in a designer who has a very unique way of thinking about a space, but also in any person who want to decorate their room. So we want to make it easy to put somewhere and to elevate a space in a way.
Okay, that's very interesting. Thank you for illustrating it perfectly with your answer there. Now, before we go back to you, maybe we can go to Mas Eko now. Mas Eko, if I remember correctly, Mas Eko, you also designed the first showroom of MOIE House in Ashta, right?
Yeah.
It was very cool, very vibrant, very summery, so very in line with the theme for the Colors of Indonesia this year, the summer home. And if I remember as well, there was also elements of Bauhaus in there. So in the blue room, in the hobby room, you also input some Bauhaus elements as well. Is that correct? And maybe you can elaborate on what kind of movement designs do you incorporate in that room?
Yeah, actually, for MOIE House, I was thinking about the early modernism. I don't put Bauhaus as the intentional, but it gives the sort of a feeling of the mid-centuries. And it's nice when we touch the word Bauhaus, where some of the furniture is starting on that era. So it gave, for me, the idea of designing the MOIE House at first is to give education, how the young people, because I know that the trend of mid-centuries is come, and then the most market who like it is the young crowd, and they have to know what is that, what is the story. So I was giving a glimpse of, you should dig deep the story of the early design, you know, the modernism. So that's the idea of introducing the design to the younger crowd, and then also to mix with elements that close to the industrial, and then because some of the products is made of on that era. While my design here is like moving forward. The hobby room is like, the idea is from the 60s and 70s, where the retro, what you call it, retro is now blooming, you know, like in Europe, and then the blue and orange it's very strong color now. It's like applied in most of any fashion and design at the moment. So I'm giving this room into the younger crowd. So I want to give their attention that the design is evolving, and also that's the idea. So it's a little bit different, but it's the same era. As you know that the young people now collecting vinyls, listen to the discos, you know.
Okay.
So that's the era where the vintage is coming to everyone's life now. You know.
So it is also why you put on those collection in your hobby room as well.
I put like 400 pieces of my vinyl, just to give the mood, you know, and like a collector's room.
And the playlist.
And also the
tell us
playlist,
more.
On Spotify. What is it called? Blue Note.
The Blue Note, yeah.
There's a Spotify playlist.
That is why the color is also blue.
I see. What was the process? How was the dynamics between Mas Eko and the MOIE House team to truly capture this vibe that Mas Eko wants to portray in the Blue Note room? Maybe Michelle, you can tell us more.
Well, I guess the first time we saw the concept, we thought like, oh wow, it's really cool. And then at first, I think we went through a process of selecting different type of furniture, but then we also see based on 80s layout that is semi-curved wall in the back, and then I think they also put a lot of curve elements, retro lines, repetition, and I think we try to recommend a few products that would go along the line, but then we also know at the end of the day, it was a collaboration, and
Yeah,
we would, yeah.
We know what MOIE collections,
Yeah.
the brands and collections.
Yeah.
So basically,
Sometimes
we
you know more
yeah.
than Martin, I think.
So we at first the concept was giving the different one, but
Yeah.
and then they come up with why don't you use the sofa and then everything. So what I have in mind starting from the beginning is the coat, the polyform coat,
Yeah.
the cabinet. That's the first is never go out from the concept. So
Okay.
that's the one because
Okay, that was the starting point
That
for
was
you.
a starting point.
Okay.
But then I think, I mean, at the final selection, I was just telling Eko the other day, I'm like, I feel like if I'm in your booth, I really feel like this is like your dream space. This is like your escape space, and then
okay.
I can tell like every single piece that you guys selected here is like your favorite pieces that you've been
Yeah.
mentioning over the
Agree.
years.
Yeah,
Couldn't
feels
agree
personal,
more.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for giving us a glimpse of the creative process. That's very interesting to hear. Now, Nick, maybe you can tell us a little bit more actually as well about Vitra and MOIE House, because you're one of the, if not the key decision maker behind bringing Vitra to MOIE House. So I'm sure you have a deep understanding of what makes Vitra special, especially for the Indonesian market. What do you think resonates the most with Indonesian homeowners when it comes to Vitra's furnitures?
Well, similar to what Eko was mentioning before, to some degree, it's a matter of education. Because if you look at Vitra, if you look at the pieces and you've never seen Vitra before,
Yeah.
you would think, wow, what a great design piece. It's so in line with today's design trend,
Yeah.
fashion, but little would you know that these pieces were designed in the 1950s, in the 1930s, and they still look so cool today. So, I mean, Vitra, even if you go to the campus, they have a museum where you can understand the history behind the designers. A lot of the designers that design the pieces are actually no longer alive as well. So we really wanted to bring something that was legendary to Indonesia. So the young consumers or even the old consumers can look back in history and understand where did the design of furniture actually begin. And that's really one of the important elements we wanted to bring to Indonesia, and that is through Vitra, of course. So thank you for giving the world something legendary to love for so many years already.
Yes, a big round of applause for sure.
Thank you for bringing us and representing us here in Indonesia.
So Nick's explanation actually bring me to my next question to you, Michael. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about how does Vitra ensure its furniture offers not just versatility, but also flexibility to meet the varied needs of different personal spaces or even maybe creative spaces, like what most people do nowadays. They combine their personal spaces with their working spaces as well. How do you ensure that consistency of always producing the best products to make sure that we can live out our best, most productive days?
Sure. I think there's various angles to this question, and it's a very, very difficult question to answer. And we can basically continue with Tipton as a chair here. So first of all, it's this sort of ambition to create something which is timeless. You don't want to be fast. You don't want to be trend. You want to be there for as long as possible, and ideally, and we see that as a trend emerging in Europe and in the US as well. We got this very, very big movement into, okay, I want to be part of the solution, for example, in terms of the global problems we have. What does that mean for a furniture manufacturer? If you produce a timeless piece of furniture, this is not going to landfill. If you don't need it anymore because, I don't know, you want to have a wooden chair, for example, you could resell this, and this has still some value to it. So that's one way of sort of keeping important in someone's life. Another angle at creating flexible and versatile furniture, of course, is not to limit it to one use case. Here's oh, the stool tool. We got the stool tool here. I heard we just brought in a stool tool with a go jack. And that actually shows that this is a very light piece of furniture. You can actually transport that on a motorbike. So what is this? This is...
Now, we have to give people context. It was actually transported on a motorbike here. It was so versatile and so easy to carry. That's what we did, just to show people exactly.
So this is a stool.
Yeah.
This is why it's called stool, but it's also a tool. I mean, you could sit there and you have a laptop. You could sit like this. You could sit the other way around.
Yeah.
So I'll direct you. You can do like this. You can lean on it, put your cup of tea, put your
Nice.
laptop.
Okay.
In a workshop, you could just lean on it. You could just sit, stand.
Ah.
Exactly.
Very
and then you
functional,
stack
yeah?
it. And when you're done, you take it on your motorbike and you take it with you. So it's a stool tool. It's a versatile piece of furniture.
Okay. That's amazing. I might want to bring this to Bruno Mars concert tomorrow. I think it'll be very
So you get to
functional for me.
Take the best pictures.
Take the best pictures indeed. Now, if I can ask you a little bit more about the theme for the Colors of Indonesia this year, which is summer home. Maybe you can tell us what's your point of view on that, about creating the perfect summer homes.
I mean, summer for me as a European has this outdoor element to it. So a lot of our pieces can be used outdoors. The Pantone chair, for example, is of course a very iconic design, 1970s. The first chair, which was actually 100% engineered by Vitra. Werner Pantone had this great design, and he was looking for someone who could manufacture this. And this is where our engineers came in. But the engineers first we had Rolf Fehlbaum, who said, yes, I can do that. If everyone else says I can't, then I can do it. So he got the best engineers basically to work out a design which is a one single piece plastic cantilever chair, which doesn't break. And we still got those vintage pieces around, they still... And it's made of very durable plastic with some certain pigments in it that don't fade in UV light, and of course rain doesn't sort of affect it, and so on and so forth. So it's a very unique piece of design for the outdoors, for example, and that's what I have in mind when I think of a summer home.
Perfect time to enjoy the outdoors, the sun, and everything that nature has got to offer, right?
Totally.
Now, how about Indonesia, Mas Eko? Different climate, different culture, obviously. So what's your take on the perfect summer home if you want to have it here in Indonesia?
Well, for me, Indonesia is always summer. Whether it's dry or rain, it's always summer. For me, like summer in Indonesia, it's a different terms with the European, because we have the sun all day, and for me, summer house is like the time where you are in holiday, you are relaxing. So now it's the question is, you are having a holiday outside your house, or you are holiday at your home. So that's one of our goal and to give a bigger audience how we can turn out our space into a more chill and more relaxing, because at the moment a lot of people Indonesian is, for me, it's like they have to know about what is the purpose of having a better life. That means you have to really relax, how you can reuse the furniture into something that fit into other, that's sort of for me. That's the summer house in Indonesia is.
Yeah, I think that shift in our creation of our space kind of happened during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
When the
our
indoor
space
and
can,
outdoor become one, and then like I said, the versatility of choosing the furniture that you can bring in and out. So you have to know what kind of material that even the sofa now become outdoor pieces, like that sort of things,
Okay, now talking about choosing your furniture, choosing about the materials, maybe Nick or Michelle, can you tell us what are some of the ways that Vitra has been incorporated into homes or even commercial spaces in Indonesia through MOIE House to give us more inspiration?
Is this regarding the materials or more the?
It can be the material or
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Okay. We found that Vitra's pieces, being legendary and iconic and very well designed and durable, is actually very suitable to go in residential or even hospitality projects. So we've seen. This is probably the only brands under the MOIE umbrella that we see that's very versatile to go all sort of projects. And then we've seen Vitra in people's homes. We've seen Vitra in executive offices, in airports, in restaurant or cafes, and also design offices.
Okay.
You guys should all hotel, and you all should visit AD office, for example. It's really cool. And I think that's what we like about Vitra. It's there's always a possibility or for you to change the material or the coloring or the so it can be very suitable for a home with maybe richer material with more residential finishing, but then you can totally simplify it and make it durable for public spaces as well.
Okay. So possibilities are endless actually, yeah?
Yes.
You can take your imagination wherever.
True, and then also being the company being very sustainable is I think is a very good choice for business, and offices to choose and then to represent themselves, especially nowadays. So they can also tell the story of Vitra and then how each product is made responsibly. And I think there's also some piece of Vitra that's made out of coffee capsules, right? Like.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Coffee cups and in general household waste basically. So we have this system basically of collecting plastic household waste in Germany. We call it the yellow bags. And we work with one of the best companies in the field to basically transform that household waste into prime material, or let's say basic material, to then basically create plastic-based furniture again. And this is one of the biggest efforts at the moment, and also one of the biggest investments we're doing as a company, basically to transform all products from virgin plastic, virgin steel, virgin aluminium, virgin anything into re-material. So there's a long roadmap of products, and for example, Tipton Reel, Stool Tool Re, they're already available in this re-plastic.
Okay. So from everything that you've explained so far, we can sense that sustainability is a very big issue for Vitra.
It's more than an important issue. So we say we have three missions basically at Vitra. So the first generation, they put in basically the commercial mission. They built the core of the company, and it brought commercial success. Second generation, Rolf Wilbaum, he brought in the cultural mission. He built the campus, he built the museum, he started collecting furniture. We got the largest collection of furniture, of chairs on this planet. And then Nora...
On this planet, guys. It's totally worth seeing. So please stop by the Design Museum.
Okay.
And then Nora Filbaum, third generation, her mission is to bring in sustainability and circularity into the company. So that's very easy to remember, 3 generations and then three pieces of the mission. And it's from the choice of material, the way you engineer, and the way of creating something truly timeless. That is the essence of that.
Yeah, from my point of view, as designer, I never saw a brand that has both sides covering from hotel, from business, airport, house, residential. So it's basically it's all touching all living things,
and it makes so much
Under
sense
the
for us.
roof, everything under the roof you can.
We just follow what people do when they use furniture. We started working at home now professionally during the pandemic, and this will stay. So we need furniture that you can like ergonomically sit on a chair,
Yeah.
but it also looks nice. You don't want to have that machine in your living room. So a task chair needs to take you and your body weight and so on, but
Yeah.
also needs to have a certain aesthetic appeal.
Okay.
We work in hotel lobbies, but we also want our offices to look a little bit more like hotels in a way. So we need to have furniture that cuts through all of that, and that's not just made for one purpose.
Yeah, it's not just about functionality, but comfort and the joy of living also needs to be there
And
as
design
well.
history. I
Yes.
mean, like, each piece has its own history, and I think
That's true. Okay, I have so many follow-up questions, Michael, from what you just said, but maybe first we can touch upon the aspect of cultures, especially when we talk about the cultures in Asia. How does Vitra adapt its design to suit these diverse cultures and also probably even also climates in Asia? And how do preferences in Asia differ from those in Europe and North America based on your experience and knowledge?
So we have a global collection. This means we don't do like a specific Pantone version for Asia, for example, and we manufacture in Europe. There's no two qualities. So in that respect, our products are universal. But then when you look at, let's say, something like this Noguchi sofa, you have such a wide range of fabrics to choose from and materials to choose from that we believe. And by the way, we're pretty proud of that fabric, that color and material library designed with Hella Jungerius, because everyone, let's say you want to have a more Nordic home, so you would choose the parts of that color palette and material palette that suit more of a Nordic style. You want to have something crazy tropical, you choose some very sort of colors that sort of bring that to life and that pop up and so on and so forth. So that's our way of basically letting everyone, the designers, but also everyone who wants to own a piece of furniture, adapt to what they like best and to how their home looks like.
Yeah, so personal preference, right? And each person also have a way of seeing things, how would they like to create their own
Absolutely.
space. Now, out of curiosity, Michelle, Nick, could you tell us what are the best-selling Vitra products here in Indonesia?
Okay. Well, Vitra is actually well known for a lot of their collection, but of course, maybe because we just recently brought in Vitra to Indonesia, and I think the market is growing, and I'm sure that people starting to understand what the other products are. But of course, it starts with the iconic pieces, for example, like Pantone
Yeah.
or Tipton. So pieces, the Prouvé collection. So I think because that's what people recognize at first. But then over time, we can see that the design community is starting to understand more and more about the company, and they start seeing, like in the last year, we just opened the extended showroom for Vitra. So now you can see the entire collection, like the task chairs.
Yeah.
Now we see a growth in that section as well.
Okay, interesting. Mas Eko, since we have you here, maybe you can also give us some design tips. For some Indonesian people, there's a big chunk of Indonesian market who always love to incorporate some elements of Indonesian tradition and culture into their homes or into their spaces. How would you do that and marry that with the iconic products of Vitra? I know you can do this because you've done it.
Yeah, for me, Indonesians' motifs, wood carvings, and all the elements of ethnic Indonesian is always interesting. If you are not blending all together, you need to give space to that piece to stand out. So my recipe is always rough, fine, rough, fine, rough, fine.
Oh,
so
okay.
everything that rough has to be fine background, and then vice versa. So it gives whatever the product to stand out, and allowing every piece to talk to you, to communicate. Because for me, everything I saw, like the piece of furniture or interior, is a matter of communicating what you should do in my room. So
Yeah.
the room has to speak, you should relax here. So that has to be, that ability has to be, speak out in the every of my setting.
Okay.
So that is why I was whatever we do design, my intention was to give, to bring the mood of the room, and then the combination between the art and the room and the design has to be seamless and has to be perfectly giving each other, give space. That's my
Okay.
Yeah.
It has to become a safe space
yes.
for whoever is
It
in
doesn't
there, right?
scream. For me, I don't like something that everything is screaming. So I need something that always gives to
Subtle.
someone.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now,
So-
talking about the topic of sustainability, in your experience, I think the Indonesian market is now also becoming much more knowledgeable and even putting sustainability as an important factor in designing their space. Is this also your experience, Mas Eko?
Yes, it's become more and more. People are more conscious about
Yeah.
sustainability, especially and in ID practice is also. We always bring that into account that we should not we've done it before like how to use the plastic, because some of the plastic product like the chair is not really recyclable. You can see how they was produced, and
Okay.
so and then the second thing is like the using of plank,
Yeah.
because a lot of people are still using the ulin, while the ulin wood is the forest is already gone. So it's very sad for me, especially I was
Okay.
living in Bali before, and I see a lot
Yeah.
of changes in Bali and basically in general in the world. So I was really concerned about that. Also, we have a cafe that we are reusing all the material. Basically, it's a trash. How become a trash can be something that useful. So for me, it's everything. I completely agree. That's why what I like about Vitra is they have in their DNA now. They are concerned about how we
Yeah.
can save the world.
Okay, that's very interesting to learn. Yeah, thank you for sharing with us that personal story, Mas Eko.
There's one more thing we haven't touched upon yet,
Yeah?
and it fits perfectly to what you just said. Right now we talked about pieces of furniture, single pieces of furniture. We're sitting on a sofa here, a classic sofa, but then the latest product we just launched last week is actually a sofa. And the initial briefing to the two designers, two young designers, both in their early 30s, actually it's their first real big piece of furniture. Before they worked for Airbnb, and they more looked into like, okay, how do we live and how do we go on holidays and so on and so forth. So they were thinking a lot about spaces. And then we said, okay guys, how does the living room of the future look like? That was the briefing, because if you know how the living room of the future looks like, then you can sort of think, how does the sofa of the future look like? And it's not easy to innovate a sofa. I mean, the Italians have done a very, very good job in sort of making perfect sofas. So actually, these two young guys got this very, very big task of innovating a sofa. So what did they do? They sort of tried to separate the way we use a sofa from the form of the sofa. Typical sofa has a back, has a chaise longue.
Yeah.
And then you have to take this very big decision. Do I take the chaise longue on the left side or on the right side? You choose, you move in, it fits perfectly. Then you change your apartment, and then all of a sudden it's mirrored or something, and you need the chaise longue on your right side. So if it's an expensive sofa, you try to sell it. If it's a cheap sofa, you throw it away and get a new one. And these two guys, basically, they said, okay, we don't want to do that. We want to have a platform, which is a platform, no direction, can be any direction.
Yeah.
And then we give it a direction by basically clicking on a panel. And I'm quite sure you'll show this very soon in the market. So by clicking on a panel, you give it a direction and you put a cushion, and there you have. And you click on a chaise longue, left side. You want to change your room, you click it on the right side. So what we do is we decouple, in a way, the use case of a piece of furniture from the way it looks like and make it versatile. And that's another layer of making a piece of furniture truly sustainable, and at the same way also very economical, because you invest once, almost like in a system, but it doesn't look like a system. It looks like a very, very nice piece of furniture. And when something changes, you don't have to invest again. You just change it, or maybe you get some little add-on. So in the end, when you think about like 2 or 3, 4, 5 years, you even save some money by investing in something. And you're sustainable at the same time. So
Yeah, modularity, right? Yeah. That's one of our like ideas now. Like we design a lot of using a lot of modular now, because of that is how we can systemize all the furniture that we use. So we doesn't throw the rooms and then.
Okay. So another aspect of sustainability that people can actually use, to be sustainable in their daily lives through the use of their furnitures. Okay, very fascinating.
So watch out for anagram. Anagram is the sofa.
Sofa. Soon coming
Wow.
to Jakarta.
Something to look forward to. Exciting. Thank you ya buat bocorannya ya. Okay, now let us learn even more. You want to dive deeper actually into the sustainability aspect of Vitra. Can you tell us how does Vitra incorporate sustainability, especially eco-friendly materials, into its furnitures while ensuring long-term emotional and functional value? Let's talk about summer homes, for instance, or maybe just any private residence or any kind of spaces that people use.
I mean, we got a great piece of furniture here, and I think we see many. I'll put it here. So, what is this? This is a stool. It's a stool by Jasper
table
Morrison.
too.
It's a table. It's a statue almost. Some people say it's to train. So we got this layer of versatility. You could even decorate it on a dining table and put some food on top of it or something. But we also see the layer of material. So this is cork from Portugal. It's like a material which grows again and again. You could, if you for some reason didn't like this anymore, it's biodegradable. So you could basically throw this in your backyard and it would disappear in a while. And it's got this, on an emotional level, it evokes a bit of the outdoors, and you bring a little bit of the outdoors into your living room, which for me, outdoors in summer is somehow connected. I'm from a cold country, so in the summer you go out and you enjoy.
Interesting, makin seru aja obrolan orang-orang lagi nonton online nih pasti ya. So many inspiration, so many different ways of looking actually at one particular piece. Thank you for broadening our horizon there, Michael. Now, I want to take our discussion back actually to the Blue Note Hobby Room by Mas Eko, if it's okay. Mas Eko, I want to talk a little bit more about your process in creating this hobby room, the Blue Note. We understand that you are an avid traveler, you love to travel, you actually love to enjoy different art forms as well. Can you tell us how those hobbies actually influence your creative process and your design process?
Okay. The Blue Note actually, it's a simple note. I mean, like it's almost like a journal, because my inspiration of this booth was from my recent. Actually, it's almost all my traveling. It starts with a Spotify playlist. It's from a playlist.
Oh.
So I was imagining everywhere I go, I need to have some, like a song to go with me, like. So I was busy preparing that instead of putting all my clothes. So I was setting
while
that
people were packing, you were doing your playlist.
A week before.
Okay.
So that is my character.
Okay.
Because for me, a journey is a place to go. It's a place to see.
Yeah.
I was like always embracing to something that surprised me. Like. So I was setting out my vision. So I really ready to get any like some surprise that can give me ideas of what next.
Okay.
That's for me, journey is like that. So and then my booth was basically a story of my last journey to Java, where I stay in the local house. It's a carpenter house where I saw the wall is all made of wood. So it
Okay.
gave me like very strong. I don't. Doesn't need to be go outside something fancy for me.
Yeah.
Something's very even something decent for me. It's enough, you know. Because what triggers me is like the idea of what should I do, what can be done in terms of design, how to elevate every piece of what I see from the just natural piece into something
Okay.
that livable. That is the, for me, that's the, because I'm a person that very easy to get the idea. For me, music is just close my eyes and I can, and hear some music, I can start designing by that, you know. So
Okay.
for me, but most interesting is the blue note because of the color of blue and then the shape of records and the sleeve, you know. So I make some graphical patterns out of that.
Okay.
It's very simple, you know. And then I use the blue into something that spark. Blue actually it's a very relaxed color. So I need
Yeah.
something that spark up. So that's why the orange came in, you know. Like so,
Okay.
I mix that two colors and then that's it, you know.
And that's your vision.
That's why.
All right, that's very interesting to hear. So obviously you've put on elements of Indonesia
Yeah,
in this
it's
space,
truly
right?
Indonesian, but the shape is, as you can see, it's very modern. So it's also the way I'm seeing in the local, what I see from the very traditional way, how I can see the modern design is, you know.
Okay.
So that's how I.
What do you think is the best old school Indonesian sensibility when it comes to design that you can actually incorporate into modern spaces, contemporary spaces? This would be interesting to hear based on your experiences on your many travels.
Yeah, pattern is the most thing that I see. You know, like the patterns of the wood. You know,
Yeah.
the rugs, the pattern from the clothes of native people. You know, and then even the ripple of the sea. You know, like some blur of from my photos. So I
Okay.
can and also also the color. Because the color of sunset, you know, like the color of, because I was a very morning person, so sunrise for me is, it's like the joy of the day, you know, like to see the
Okay.
sunrise and then capture, you know, the spirits. That's the.
I see
Yeah.
Michael is getting very touched
Yeah, because
with
you talk
everything
about
you're saying.
colors a lot. What's the national color of Indonesia? Is
It's
there
red and white.
red
Yeah.
and white? So we talked about Pantone before, and I think Werner Pantone at one point said that you sit better on a chair that has your favorite color.
Yes, I agree.
I don't know. Pantone said it, so I think must be
That's
You
true.
must be
right.
right.
That's actually very enlightening, Maseko. Basically, everything around you can serve as inspiration, right? If it touches you, if it moves you, then use that as an inspiration to create the space that you want to be in every day. From the sunrise to the music you listen to, I completely relate to your love of music. Music is something abstract, you cannot touch it,
Yes,
but
yes.
music can touch you. So
Yes.
yeah, I truly agree with you. Now, hobby room. For some people, maybe this is not so something that is common. Maybe Michelle, Nick, you can inspire us even more. How can actually a hobby room be beneficial to us, make us more productive, maybe make us happy, and how can we use the myriad products from Vitra to create that space?
Well, we rarely see a hobby room
Yeah.
in people's houses, but I
Right?
think that is one of the rooms that is missing and actually essential. Why?
Yeah.
Because the hobby room is really the room where you can re-energize. Because when you're doing your hobby, you're recharging and you're bringing joy to yourself and balancing the difficulties of the work or the challenges in life. Having a hobby room, especially
Yeah.
with vibrant colors, with nice design, is a way to reset your mind, and it's definitely an essential space. Even if you don't have a hobby room, you should think about creating a hobby corner in your house.
Okay.
Or, you know, oftentimes, you know, we hear now the man cave is becoming
Yeah.
a fun place to be for us guys, you know. But, you know, that's really sort of a take on a hobby room, because you're doing something that you love to do in a space that is fun and exciting so you can recharge your life.
Definitely. There's this viral trend on TikTok and Instagram that I'm seeing about how husbands, when they take picture with their wives, they have like this straight expression, no smiles, like, okay, let's take a picture. But when they take picture while doing their hobby, big smiles, so happy, so bright. So maybe that's indication, yeah, you do need a hobby to brighten up your days. Michael, anything to say about this?
No, but I can totally relate to this because one of the core beliefs we have at Vitra is that spaces, the space you're in, the room you're in, the house you're in, maybe even this space, sort of influences the way you think, the way you feel, the way you behave, the way you work. And for myself, I can see the result of that. So I can share one story. We had this like. We're a cool company in a way, but we're a corporate company as well. So we do workshops, and everybody loves workshops, and sometimes we hate those workshops. And then we had one particularly bad workshop, and in the end, also we have an interior design team at Vitra, and Tim, he was there. And in the end of the workshop, I said, "Hey Tim, this was a really bad workshop, and it was not the fault of the people who ran it." And he said, "Like, look. We're in the basement here. Like we're at -1 floor, and like this is the oldest part of the company, and we have all the old furniture in here." So he said, well, in German he was very direct. I would not say that here in front of all the audience, but he said, well, this is a room, so the result is and yeah, so we totally believe that, and this is why also we make sure that our offices, they look great and they're versatile and there's great stuff, and this is what in effect in the end the hobby room is. It's you show your identity a little bit, who you are, but you also surround yourself with stuff which you like, and that all has a very interesting effect on you and on your feeling.
My hobby room actually it's some people can say this is a man's cave, but it's not a man cave. I'm not really for me man cave sounds like egocentric, like for male.
Okay.
But hobby room is for actually can be very productive. It's a place that you can work, you can relax. Of course, it's recharging you, but also it's a place to meet where you having like photography. You download all the movie that you got from the last travel, and then the kids can go play with the Lego, and then they can start a conversation.
Yeah.
It's a place that you can meet because the music is for everyone. Like even the wife, the kids, the husband can get also have because now a lot of people said I need a room for like Christmas or a birthday party. A hobby room can be adjusted to that situation.
Yeah, it can be versatile still.
Yeah,
a hobby room can be for
yeah.
everything.
I would even say every company needs to have a hobby room in a
Exactly,
way.
exactly, yeah.
To create a certain feeling and to create maybe a bit of identity, like what is this company standing for, what are products and innovation and idea.
Yeah.
But then also to just see what happens. You put smart people in a hobby room, and I'm quite sure they'll come up with better ideas, better products, and in the end, those better products they will turn into more profit for the one who invests in this hobby room. So it makes
boleh tepuk tangan, big round of applause for that idea, right? Work and creativity and fun and play actually would be better at the end for productivity itself. Thank you. Valid point, Michael. Thank you for that. So for my last sets of questions for this discussion, I know time flies, right, when you're having so much fun, but I want to go back to the theme of the Colors of Indonesia, summer home, and also to marry it with Vitra. So maybe now I can ask each of you, maybe starting from Michelle, if I ask you if you can create your own summer home, wherever in this planet on Earth, you can choose like the spot, and then you can make it as interesting and as personal as possible. How would it look like? What would it be? Maybe start from where first. Where would you have your summer home, Michelle?
I think I would probably agree with Masami the other day.
Yes.
I would make my summer home at home.
Ah, okay.
Because as you know, I mean, like our work is even though we love what we do, but it can be very hectic. So when you come home, you really want your home to be your sanctuary, your escape, and I think this is one thing that I really love about Eco Space, 80s space, the hobby room here, because you enter the space, you feel like, yeah, I can stay here for a long time. I can see myself like coming home from work and then just relaxing here from the music, from the scent, you know, from the choice of furniture, of course. And then the color, the blue, the calming color, and the lighting. I mean, I think lighting sets mood very well in that space. So, yeah, to answer your questions, my dream is to have that space in my own home, you know, so that would be my summer home.
All right. And what would be the one piece from Vitra that you have to have in your summer home? That's the second part of the question.
Okay. I really, really like, even though, you know, we have like an open space, but maybe I would really like to have like a workstation from Vitra that I can have, sometime I need to make a call or I need to make a Zoom. So Vitra has plenty of options to create work base and the alcove, you know, so it's kind of like, you know, you can set up an open plan, but then, you know, you have your own little booth that you can get cozy, and then sometimes you can have just like a quiet conversation when your kids are screaming in the back or your dogs are barking.
I relate,
so, you know, but you can still pick up a call and then just go hide in there. So I really like working and then sometimes having just a conversation one-on-one with our team in those alcove or work base from Vitra.
Nice. I think we just have a glimpse of Michelle Shang never not working, wherever you are. From Nick's smile, I know that I've just made a truthful assessment there.
Actually, this one, I actually, you know, whenever like the kids are asleep or he's already asleep, the dog's asleep, but then, you know, I always sometimes like hide in the bathroom or something because it's the only space I can like have like the light turned on and then I can just have my own me time, right? So
me time is essential. Yes, man, take note. I completely agree with you, Michelle. Of course.
This is why you need a hobby room.
Nick, how about you? Your ideal perfect summer home, where would it be, and one piece of Vitra that you want to have there?
You know, for me, the summer home, where would it be, is not really the important question. It's for me, it's what can you see? What are you surrounded by? And one thing we learned in the recent years is we need to have life, nature, green. And I find that when I'm around or I can see green, when I can see the sunshine, I feel recharged. And in summer, that's one of the main concepts, you're recharging. Especially if you go on holiday during the summer, you're recharging. So to be able to see, you know, plants, the sun, that's really important for me as a summer home. So I really like always the concept of bringing, connecting between the indoors and the outdoors and vice versa. I also like having a big patio transition even between the inside and the outside.
Nice.
Every morning when I'm going to exercise, I'm out on the patio doing my yoga or doing my strength training, or even on my stationary bike. I'm out there looking at the green. So for me, that is what is essential in a summer home. Doesn't matter where you are. Go to a different location, it could be colder, wouldn't be hotter. This is basically as hot as it gets. But having that sense of openness and connectivity to the outside, that's really important for me.
Merging nature into your personal space.
Yes.
Thank you, Nick. Maseko, your summer home.
My summer home will be, I would like to be in Bali because I just, like last 4 years, we are having this land around. It's not that big, but it's up in the mountain. Actually, I like beach because I was born in Sanur, so beach is like my kids. You know, like
your home. It's your home.
I grew up in Sanur. So, but we got this land, and then I was thinking to build that just a stilt house with around 200 square meters is enough. With
Okay.
200 square meter of a deck,
All right.
I need a big deck because I like to also doing painting. I like to do also a little bit of like chill, go outside and then sitting. So same with Nick. I mean like I like green things. I like mountains also. I like sea. So I need to get close to that elements because
Okay.
it's really calms me down and then give me let my brain to work out, because and also I'm kind of person that works with hands a lot. I do a lot paintings and then making like small stuff like actually my brain and my hands is two different things.
Okay.
And sometimes I need to shut down my brain and then let the hands to do the work.
Yeah.
And sometimes like that. So that's his and then also surrounded by I was just a dream, but
Yeah.
I would like to have like a wall with small racks and full of the Vitra's miniature.
Ah, that would be so awesome. It's a conversation piece for
Yes,
people when they
yes,
visit
yes.
you, right? Then you can talk
Yes.
in length about those pieces. Okay, that sounds like fun. Thank you, Maseko, for sharing. Michael, last but not least, your ideal summer home and which piece from Vitra would you put there to give that ultimate summer vibe, summer home feeling?
So I think I have a very, very clear picture about my ideal summer home.
Okay.
Actually, the location is very important. So
Okay.
it has to be in the mountains.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether this is like the German Alps or the Swiss Alps or the French Alps or whether this is on Bali or on Java,
Yeah.
but it's a mountain and it's a little cabin, a little wooden cabin,
Okay.
which has this great view and you can see basically what's going on there, but you're within your space where you can go, you recharge, you maybe have some friends over, you have your place where you sit and chill, you have a little living room, but it's very compact and it's very sort of not big and opulent. And at the same time, there's a big storage in the back. In that storage, I have my bicycles, I have my skis, I have my
Okay.
paraglide.
Wow, very
And then-
active,
And
yeah?
then to make this perfect, there's a little launch site just next on the grass next
Okay.
to the cabin. I can
Yeah.
launch my paraglide and go down into the valley. So that's perfect, but it's
Okay.
also difficult to find. And I think this one piece of it's not furniture, it's our
Yeah.
product. And we got these little wooden dolls by Alexander Girard.
Okay.
There's many of these little dolls, and there's one that sticks out and stands out, and that's a little devil. And actually, I love that little devil because you just put that on your desk,
Okay.
and then someone passes by your desk, it's your boss or it's
Yeah.
your team, and they ask you, hey, so
What's with
what's
the
that
devil?
What's that devil? Because I mean, we need to be angels most of the time, but
Yeah.
once in a while we need to
Yeah, yeah.
also
We
play
need
the
to let the
devil
devil
a little
out.
bit. And that's a little bit this playfulness, which I don't know is in our brand, is in me a little bit. To
Yeah.
sort of have these things that stick out a bit. Yeah, so it's not a piece of furniture, but it's my
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah. I
Vitra
love
piece.
it. Thank you, Michael. Hopefully you get that dream cabin of yours soon. Let us know. But for now, thank you so much for sharing with us your time and your expertise, for sharing with us your personal stories. Michelle, Nick, thank you for getting us all together
Thank you,
here at
Siska.
Senayan City. Please, a big round of applause for our speakers. Once again, thank you for giving us so many inspiration from personalized hobby rooms to outdoor spaces and how sustainability remains at the core of it all. Thank you so much for this lively discussion. And now to end our moment of togetherness, maybe we want to show some appreciation for our guests from Michael and Mas Eko. So now we have prepared beautiful bouquet of flowers, which will be given by Michelle and Nick to Michael and Mas Eko. Thank you once again, Michael Kruckenberg from Vitra. Thank you for visiting Jakarta. Thank you for being a part of this little chat show that we have. Mas Eko Priharseno, thank you for your collaboration with MOIE House. It's a miniature to create that mini rack that you dream of, Mas Eko. Now let's take a picture all together, everyone. Whip out your phones, your cameras. Yes, the first one here in the front. Big smiles. Okay, smiles all around. Thank you so much once again. Congratulations to Michelle and Nick for another fun event by MOIE House. Mas Eko, Michael, please enjoy the rest of your short time in Jakarta and hope to see you soon. And let's all say goodbye to our online audience. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Take care.